welcome back to my channel. If it's the first time you're seeing this face, please go watch my get to know me tag video. Because how? You can't be watching my videos and not knowing who I am or what I like, if I like ice cream or chocolate. So go watch that video and then come back to this one, right? It's the same day, I'm wearing the same outfit. I didn't want to change. I was like, I might as well just do the next one. I'm still not wearing a bra, but asikhodanye sikhulumile ngayo and it's cool. It's okay. So yeah, we're getting right into it. Welcome. If it's the first time you're seeing this face, welcome. If it's the second time you're seeing this face, I love you so much. But yeah, welcome. We're starting with my content, my real content. Get to know me. No, we're not doing that. We're doing the real work now, right? So what I've done is I've written down my script on paper, yeah, well, so that so that I know what I'm gonna talk about and things like that. So I'm gonna be looking down. Please forgive me for that. Please, please forgive me for that. Which one? But anyways, we're gonna be doing chapter 1 of my, I think it's 10 videos, I'm not sure, but then let's go chapter 1 March, right? And the first chapter, as you saw from the title, is prepare yourself mentally, right? So it's very important with this journey that we're about to start. We're mentally prepared. It's very, very important. I'm going to tell you why it is important for you to be mentally prepared, right? So first things first, finding a job is a full-time job. That's what we have to establish. The first thing that we're going to have to establish is the obvious fact, getting a job is a full-time job, right? It's not easy. It's emotionally draining. It's exhausting. Umuntu can become depressed. It's just a whole entire different episodes of frustration on top of frustration on top of frustration. So being mentally prepared is very, 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 very important. Very important, right? Okay. No, ma'am. There's something missing here. But then okay. So there are a few stages that we're gonna talk about, and some of you guys have kind of established that you've gone through something like that. Some of you have not. Maybe you're still in high school, you're doing your matric, you just finished your exams, you've never gotten a job before, and you're like, okay, what's the vibe, right? So I'm gonna tell you what goes into looking for a job and things like that, and then tell you why it is important to prepare yourself mentally for the journey, right? So the first thing, or the first phase, is the kicking off phase. Why am I making mistakes? It's the kicking off phase, right? And then in this phase, it's like you just recently graduated. You're finished with high school, and you're like, now I want a job now. Now I want a job. I want to make money. I don't want to ask my parents for money. I want to be able to get everything that I want for myself, by myself, and about myself, right? So where do I start? You get excited, you start planning ukuthi ngizohamba ngiyohlala eMidrand or Sandton or Pretoria, wherever you choose to stay. You're gonna go live in Joburg. You start planning all of these huge things before even getting the job, but then it's the excitement, So that's the first phase that you're gonna go through. I remember being in this phase, but I never went through this phase. I think for me, I wasn't even looking for a job when I got my first job. I wasn't. I just applied and I got the job. I was like, oh, great. But I never had that phase that was, okay, I'm gonna now, Because like I said, in the past, I wasn't that motivated. I don't know what was wrong with me. But then, yeah. And then the second phase is finding leads. So now you've established you want to find a job. So now you sit down with yourself. This is where you'll identify job opportunities and start your process of application. This is the longest part of your job search. So now, like I said, you just recently matriculated, you just graduated, you've never been in the workspace before, but then you're trying to get a job. but then you don't know where to look because you've never been here before. It's a whole new world, and you don't have to, like, you can't go to school and be like and ask about it or be taught about it, because literally it's just you against the world. So in this phase, you now sit down, you ask your mother, "Ukuthi, Mom, I want to get a job. Where do I look? Where do I start?" You ask your friend that is working, your cousin that is working, or your aunt, "Ukuthi, ma'am, I'm looking for a job. Where should I start looking?" That's where you sit down. And then you have the third phase where you convert opportunities. And then with this one, you've already sent out your CVs, everything. My job interviews, successful, not successful, all of that. While some people might enjoy interviewing, most people find it stressful. During your interview, you will only have a short period of time to make an impression and prove your value. So in this converting opportunities phase, you are just there. You are can't tell your interview, like you are there, man. You are there. You get called, random calls with, "Hi, you're speaking to Mrs. I don't know, Mrs. Williams would like to call you for an interview," things like that, because you've sent out your interview, your CVs to different places. Now they're calling you. Now you've went through the phase, and then the fourth phase. This is the tricky one. This is the part where now you start giving up now. I get it, you went through the third phase of looking for opportunities. Now you went to job interviews, you didn't get the job, or you don't get called at all. And then you're asking yourself, what is it that I'm doing wrong? And then you're like, "Hi, man." By now, it's 6 months down the line, you're like, "Hi, man. Kanti, what is it? What is it?" You start questioning yourself, you start devaluing yourself. Like, everything is just, it's going down. All that excitement and engagement is gone to waste. Kafa, you spent a lot of money. Ooh, hey, you spent a lot of money to go to these interviews, to do these I'm a CV. You went to the internet cafe, you printed out CVs, but then there's nothing. This will happen a couple of times before you find the right job. Prepare yourself mentally for failure, not because you are not good enough, you're not a good enough candidate, but because it's just how it goes. So that's why I said it's important for you to prepare yourself mentally. Why? Because it's not going to be easy, especially the first couple of times. There are those lucky people. I have a friend who had never been employed before, just like me. Actually, I'm a perfect example, because like I said, I never went through the phase of applying. I just applied for one job, and that looked like my first ever job. I applied for it and I got it. And then I also have another friend that went through the same process. Like, he printed out on a CV, and then he went to a mall, and then he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go look for a job." And then he was told he must come back the next day for an interview. After that, he got a job. Easy, clean. And then there are people by the they have to go through struggles. You have to go through struggles. You must goduka, or you must sorry. So you have to be mentally prepared for something like that. Okay, maybe it's not gonna go well. Maybe it's not gonna go well. If it doesn't go well, you still need to have the krach to continue. Don't commit suicide. Don't start becoming depressed. Don't be frustrated. But most of all, don't give up. Right? That's why it's important for you to prepare yourself mentally. Why is it important to prepare yourself mentally for a big change? Before making important life changes, or when you have to deal with them, it is valuable to know how to mentally prepare yourself. Change happens constantly in life, and a part of dealing with any change is preparing yourself mentally. That's what I've been saying. Mental preparation will help you cope with the highs and the lows of change in life without generating additional stress. It is about rehearsing your mind. It is about rehearsing your mind on how you will handle the situation before it actually happens. Yeah, but so I said that I explained why it is important to prepare yourself mentally. So now we're gonna prepare. We're gonna like things to do to help you prepare yourself mentally, right? The things that you're gonna do to help you. Okay, how do I prepare myself mentally? So the first thing that you're gonna do is to be positive. You have to always be positive, like all the time. We have one at the kicking off stage. That phase, you were so excited. The energy was there. You were positive that you're going to get a job, you're going to go move out of the hood, you're going to go live in Santon or whatever, you're going to buy a car within a year. That is all positivity. You need to keep it up even when things are going south. You need to always be positive, because also the universe is always listening. You have to speak, khulume to the universe, because yeah, this is what I want. The law of attraction. When you're talking about things, when you're saying positive things about the things that you want, the universe listens and it brings those things to you. So always be positive all the time. Every single day when you wake up in the morning, you tell yourself, and you're like positive. You generate positive thoughts every day. Manifestation also, that's also a thing. Manifest good things. Yay, next year is going to be a better year for me, and trust me, it's going to be a bad year. Even when life decides I'll go chap, punches, but you fight back, because nobody else is going to do it for you, literally. Secondly, use words that will evoke strength and success. You are your own car, and the car that you're driving, if you have a car, you are your own car. Treat yourself as a car. It's hella petrol. Hype yourself up. Nobody's gonna do it for you. So always always use words that will evoke strength and success. Like be positive about everything. Number 3, direct your thoughts. This technique can help to control your thoughts when you start feeling down or anxious. Figure out a way when something bad happens, you just look at the positive side about it. You don't even think about the bad situation or the badness of the situation. You just think about the positive part, and then you just move on. There's no need for you to cry over spilled milk, or like now over snacks. Always direct your thoughts, no matter how bad the situation is. Don't think about the bad things or anything like that, right? Number 5, give yourself credit. Oh, this is very important. Give yourself credit. I tried. I went to that interview. I did what I needed to do. I didn't get the job, but on my side, I am proud of myself for doing so. I'm gonna be doing a young story time about this giving yourself credit and forgiving yourself, right? So I had an interview not so long ago, maybe about 2 months ago, at this huge company. So it was a 3-phase interview. The first part of the interview, I got a call. They asked me a few questions, and then I went to the next phase. The next phase was we had a video meeting, Teams meeting, video, what. It's like a video call, Kanjena. They are there asking me questions. I'm answering the questions, and then I was a successful candidate. And then I went over to the last and final interview, which was the hardest. So I went to this interview. I was given a week to prepare myself for the interview, right? I did prepare myself. I wrote down my questions. I rehearsed them. I was there. I was ready. I was excited. One thing that I did, I was already looking for. It was in Rosebank. This job was in Rosebank, so I didn't want to travel every month. So I made arrangements for at least if I do get a job, positivity. If I do get the job, then I'm gonna live in Rosebank, bravo. So I'll go to this interview, So 2 days before my interview, before I go to this interview, 2 days before my interview, my phone falls down on the floor. I don't have money to fix it. There's a lot going on. I'm going to an interview. I've never gone to this place before, right? Usually what I would do is use my phone for directions, use Google Maps and things like that. So this time I sent a phone. I don't have a phone to direct myself. There's nobody that can borrow me a phone. It was in Rosebank, but I go through Joburg. I can't take somebody else's phone and then go to Joburg. What happens what happens in Joburg? Yeah, well, so that was the vibe for me. What am I gonna do? That's the first thing. Secondly, I wake up in the morning. I left my house at 7 o'clock. Right? I leave. Yes. I was 7 o'clock because my mom wanted me to request. But then it was too expensive and then she was like, yo, nah, I don't have that amount of money and oh yeah, oh boy. So I was like, no, it's fine. I'll go alone. Okay, get. I leave my house at 10 past 7. Right? It takes about an hour to arrive at Joburg. Like about an hour from here to Joburg. 1 hour-ish. Yeah, I go. I leave my house. I don't have time, and I'm so scared. I'm afraid to ask people, what time is it? So we go to Joburg. On our way to Joburg, on my way to Joburg in the taxi, it's load shedding, right? So I'm a taxi driver. The quickest way to arrive to your location. So this guy was around. The guys were around. I felt like I was in a 2-hour drive, and I felt it was actually 2 hours. Because this person was just round looking and round looking. Time I'm going to an interview. I'm afraid to ask somebody, what time is it? Because I'm like, if I find out the time, I'm gonna go crazy, right? Okay, sharp. Katamaya. I pass where I'm supposed to go to get in the taxi. I pass because I've never been to Rosebank before. Remember? Kafida, go MTN. When I arrive at MTN, I asked those guys, queue marshals, whatever. Not queue marshals, but I asked them, where can I get a taxi to Rosebank? Okay, this guy's like, okay, now Kappa. On Kappa, I pay him, I get in a taxi. No, before I get in the taxi leaves. Like, I have to wait for another one because that one was full. I was like, guys, can I do on the platform? And they're like, no, we're leaving. I'm like, fuck, okay, sharp. I wait for another taxi. I still don't know what time it is, right? My interview was supposed to be at 9. I still don't know what time it is, but like, by the look of things, I'm late. But I'm not trying to like demotivate myself, like stress kanako. Okay, I wait for another taxi. Yeah, taxi, we go. Yeah, so I asked them, as I'm going, I asked this lady, is this in? She's like, yes. I'm like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to get off, right? So it's at the mall, but then on the other side, I'm supposed to go to the other side. I start round looking with the mall. I'm lost. I'm very, very lost. I'm frustrated. I'm lost. I'm sweating. It's fucking hot. So, but then, like, I'm angry, So I finally get it. I go inside. So when you get inside, there's a register. So there was a guy that was in front of me, ne? So when you write on the register, there's a space for time. Yeah. This man writes his details, he writes the time, and then he goes in. I greet that lady, hi, at the reception. Hi, good. As soon as I start writing, I see that the time that is written is 9:30. I ask her, hi lady, what time is it? She's like 9:30. I'm like, yo, I'm 30 minutes late, guys. Yabo? Fine. Yeah, figurazo. I write. I'm like, should I go home? I'm like, I'm already here. Let me just do it. Yabo? When I arrive, I'm like, I tell that other lady, because I'm here for an interview. She directs me, okay, go sit there. I sit there. I wait for my interviewers, not interview. I'm the interviewee. Interviewers, right? Okay, fine. I arrive. So there's a lady, Lee something. She was interviewing me from the start. No, not from the start. The second interview and now this one. The first thing that she said when she sees me, she's like, Yazin, you made us wait for 30 minutes. I'm already bored. I don't want to do this. I tell them, load shedding. They're like, what does load shedding have to do with you arriving here? I'm like, Lava, they don't know taxis. It's a white lady. She doesn't know taxis. She knows nothing about taxis. It's taxis. Your girl, like that lady, she's not having it. She's not there. Okay, fine. I sit down. She's bored. Like, she's not there anymore. She's like, you were supposed to be here at 9. And then they're like to me, why didn't you tell us you're going to arrive late? I'm like, I don't have a phone. Remember the story? My phone fell, Hi, fine. I sit down. Hey, this lady starts greeting me because she's annoyed already, but she has to do her job. Question after question after question. I can't even confidently answer these questions because I'm already thinking to myself, I arrived late. The phone. Like, there's just everything about that day was horrible. I finished my interview. As soon as I walked out of that interview room, I knew that I didn't get the job. time I was so excited. Yo, okay, I leave. Yeah, hamba. I start like I couldn't sleep for my 7 days because like I only got feedback after 7 days. I couldn't sleep. I was stressing myself, like constantly telling myself, "Ukuthi, I should have just left the house at 6. Maybe it could have been better. I would have rather arrived early instead of late." I was just bad. I was gaslighting myself every single chance that I got. I couldn't sleep. Ga ke tana fela bete, I would think about what I could have done better, especially in the interview and the questions that they were asking me. Like there were obvious questions that anybody could answer, but in that situation, I just couldn't. I'm like, yes, sir, I spent so many days preparing for this interview only for me to disappoint myself the way that I did. You know, I was negative to myself. So, one thing that I told myself after that whole experience, Uguti, I must give myself credit. I tried. I should have just sat down with myself and be like, yo, girl, you tried. Yes, it wasn't good enough, but I tried. And I had to forgive myself. It took a long time, I'm not gonna lie. I was hurt, but then I had to forgive myself. I had to. I didn't have any choice. I had to get over it and be like, okay, maybe this was meant to happen the way that it was meant to happen the way that it happened, because if it didn't happen the way that it happened, I wouldn't be sitting here today recording this video. Maybe I would have gotten the job. Let's say I got the job. I wasn't going to worry about YouTube or anything like that, or people, or like me realizing my mistakes. The biggest thing about all of this is that I wasn't going to learn from my mistakes. So me not getting that job, it allowed me to reflect, sit down with myself, reflect. Okay, this is what you did, this is what you did, this is what you did, these are your mistakes. How or what can you do to fix those mistakes? And I literally sat down with myself with tears in my eyes, and I was like, okay, this is what I did, this is what I have to do right. I was so hurt, Nina. Yo. So, but like, it was good for me because I'm this person today because of that moment. Yeah, so I forgave myself, and I was like, I gave myself credit and I forgave myself. So yeah, I think that's the end of my video. But before we get to that, I'm so excited to be sharing this journey with you guys. On my next video, I'll be more informal, but then it's important that you prepare yourself mentally for this journey. If you really, really want to do this with me, prepare yourself mentally. Be positive, as I've said. Don't be too hard on yourself. Forgive yourself. Speak words that evoke strength and success. Yeah, be positive, give yourself learn to direct your thoughts, right? When you're thinking about something negative, direct it into something positive, right? And then the quote of the day, because we have to have a quote of the day. Oh my god, why not? So the quote of the day is, successful people don't fear failure but understand that it's necessary to learn and grow from. Thank you guys for watching my video. Spend the week learning to like direct you, to control your thoughts and things like that. If something does happen during this week in your life, think about the positive parts of how you can handle that situation. Thank you guys for watching my video. I will see you guys on the next video. If you like this video, click the like so that other people can see the video. I don't know, there's a word for it, but I forgot it. Like the video if you like it, subscribe to my channel, and then click on that notification thing, bell, so that you are notified next time this pretty girl posts a video. I'll see you guys on the next one.